My name is Chris Denicky, and my colleague Reed Gardner and I, we did the Inventue project. Our design for the Inventue project has to do with the energy crisis that the United States is currently in. And a little about the energy crisis that we're in is that we're closing down many of the coal power plants and replacing them with absolutely nothing. It's mostly our own fault because we're not replacing them. A portion of the public that knows about this energy crisis is calling for alternative or green energy, while a portion that knows about it but doesn't really care about it wants just energy. They don't care what the production system is. It could be coal, nuclear, hydro, geothermal, wind, solar, whatever. But they don't want to see it, they don't want to hear it, they don't want to know about it. An out of sight, out of mind kind of mentality there. But the one problem with today's green technology is it tends to be more expensive, take up more space, and be less efficient than traditional fossil-fueled power plants. Our solution to this energy crisis is a double-sided wind turbine. This helps solve the issue because in the same amount of space, or approximately the same amount of space as a traditional wind turbine takes up, we can produce more energy. And we also want to get the power to cost ratio where we're producing more power than increasing the power by more and increasing the cost by less. As you see, for example, the 1.5 power to the 1.3 cost ratio. If that could happen, green energy would explode around the globe. Any type of green energy, if you could increase the cost less than you increase the power. This is our general design. As you can see, it has a traditional base that goes up to what they call the head. It's slightly bigger than the head of a traditional wind turbine because more electronics has to go into it, more gears, generator. It needs more space for people to move around to fix things inside because there's more. But what I really want to pay attention to is the two different sizes and the positioning of each propeller. The bigger propeller is going to be in the front because we want the bigger one to have more wind hitting it, so it will spin more. But it's also on the side because when wind hits it, the wind will bounce off. We want more wind to hit the back one, so they're on opposite sides. And the back one is also smaller in case of if the wind changes or if too much wind bounces off. The second one will be able to still spin. It could be half the size, 80% of the size. It could be a whole bunch of sizes, but it can't be the same size. Otherwise it won't spin because the same amount of wind is not hitting it. Now, this is going to save money in more areas than just the power to cost ratio that we talked about earlier. For an example, it's going to save space. The largest wind farm in the United States, and actually it's the largest wind farm currently in the world, is 100,000 acres and produces 781.5 megawatts per year, which is enough to power several suburban towns or areas. It contains a total of 627 wind turbines, and that's approximately 0.006 wind turbines per acre, because they can't be too close together, because otherwise they would deflect the wind, they might hit each other when they spin around. But they also produce 1.24 megawatts per turbine, which is enough to power several homes easily. Now if we take the same example we used earlier of 1.5 times the power, and add it, take out their turbines and add ours, it'll be 418 turbines to create that 781.5 megawatts, which is a significant decrease because it also only takes up the space of 69,667 acres. That's saving approximately 30,000 acres of land that could be used for other purposes. And if we take the cost per acre of about $100, which is an extremely cheap price per acre, it saves over $3 million. The average in this kind of area of Roscoe, Texas, is going to be closer to $500. So if you multiply that 3 million times 5, you're going to get $15 million of savings. And this savings could possibly pay for the increase in cost of the new wind turbines. And now my colleague Reed Gardner is going to talk about what this wind turbine can do for the world if and when it's produced.
Hi, I'm Reed Gardner, and as my partner Chris said, I'm going to be talking about how our new double-sided windmill really will have a large impact on the world's energy crisis. Right now, we in the United States and in the world in general are completely dependent on fossil fuels. These fossil fuels could be natural gas, coal, really whatever, but they are very harmful to the environment. And with our new green technology in our double-sided wind turbine, it would bring clean energy to the US and other parts of the world that really never had energy before. This excess energy can be transported to disaster areas, areas without power, really any place that needs energy. And it's completely clean energy instead of using these fossil fuels that will eventually run out and are harmful to the environment. It is much less harmful, and it reduces the cost dramatically. In 2003, New York City had a major blackout. This blackout not only affected New York, but also the entire northeastern United States. With more energy in the grid, it would reduce these kinds of blackouts. The New York City blackout lasted over 3 days and really hurt a lot of businesses, the economy, and just people in general because no power for 3 days. This new double-sided wind turbine will put more energy into the grid and reduce the impact that these kind of blackouts would have. Also, like Chris said, there's less land taken up by these wind turbines than in a regular wind turbine. This leaves more land available for other uses. This is especially important in developing countries where they need new sources of energy that are clean and won't harm the environment there, but also are less cost efficient, and they leave space for these countries to grow and develop. So eventually, really, this technology could go anywhere. There is no limit to its potential. We just need to invest in it and develop it further, and it really could go as far as solving our world's energy crisis.